Today on Dr. Phil.
I call Nathan about 200 calls a day.
She's obsessed with her ex.
I stalk him by sitting outside his house.
You recognize it's sick, that it's not healthy for you to do this.
She believes in a fantasy.
I feel like there's no chance to live without him.
Listen, I don't play games the way you play games.
It's time to get real with the man she loves.
How do you feel about seeing him now? Let's do it.
Why don't we stop all the drama, stop all the fighting, and let's go get you better.
Here we go. Have a good show, everybody.
If I can help get this family back on track, are you willing to do that?
Ready, free, take.
This is going to be a changing day in your life. Go, Dr. Phil.
Thank you very much. Well, you are going to find today very interesting, I think. It certainly is to me. We're talking about a young woman that is so obsessed with her ex. She cannot stop thinking about him. She calls him sometimes 100 times a day. She text messages him 1,000 times a day. She waits outside his house in the freezing cold for hours, all in the name of what she calls love. Now, she only dated him for 18 months. This is her ex. Now, she says after her ex Nathan said it's over, she's been fixated on his every move. Take a look.
I am obsessed with getting Nathan back. I have a complete love addiction, and I can't live without him. I've been going through a complete downward spiral. I don't eat. I barely shower. I can't be away from my phone. I'm constantly checking it. I'm constantly making fake numbers to call him. It's a horrible experience to go through. I'm just doing my daily, I have to text him something. Okay. I met Nathan on April 8th, 2011. I was going to my prom and I went into his bridal salon and was starstruck. In the beginning of our relationship, I definitely was Nathan's main priority. He treated me like a princess. And then it became physical. I just didn't really trust him that well, and I would see him do things that were completely wrong, and I would smack him. He became physical back towards me. Nathan constantly would break up with me 4 or 5 times a month. Every time we would break up, I constantly harassed him. I constantly stalked him. It made Nathan come back. In December, he broke up with me for good. There was no harassing. There was nothing I could do to change his mind. I'm constantly plotting new ways to convince him to take me back. I call Nathan about 200 calls a day and 1,000 texts a day. In my text, I am either angry and I say I hate you, I want nothing to do with you, or I go out of desperation of I want you, I can be a great girlfriend, I can be a great wife one day. Right now it's very difficult. I still checking it just to make sure he responded, but he hasn't responded. I stalk him by sitting outside his house, follow behind his friends' cars until he gets out, and try to talk to him. I'd say about 3 hours a day, I go past his work and his house just to see what he's up to. Sometimes I'll hide in the back. I'll see him walk towards the back just to pretend that he doesn't see my car. He has glass windows, and I drive by just to make sure I can get a little glimpse of him, and it makes me feel a lot better. He didn't respond. I feel in my heart he still loves me, and he just doesn't know what he wants. I would give anything to get Nathan back into my life. It would be okay if Nathan cheated on me. Anything. He could do whatever he wanted. I would accept it. I feel like this hopeless person, this person that's falling apart. And it hurts because it's all over just a guy.
Okay, you just watched that and paid attention to it, right?
Yes.
What do you think about that as you watch everything that you just said?
I feel like it's controlling my whole entire life, and there's nothing I can do about it.
Well, but what do you think about what you just said? I'll take him back. No, I don't care what he does. He can cheat me, beat me, lie to me, whatever. I don't care.
It sounds degrading, but I would do it.
Well, what's your theory about why that's so important to you?
I feel like there's no chance to live without him.
Well, you lived without him all of your life until 18 months ago. How did you get by all of that time?
I never experienced the love I had with him. And then when I had this love with him, it just completely, I don't even remember my life before then.
But you did have a life before that,
did.
most of your life before that, without him. How did you get by all of those years without him?
I couldn't even tell you 'cause I don't even think about that.
Well, think about it now. You came here and you wanted to talk to me, so you wanted my help, right?
Of course.
This is it. You're getting it. I'm helping you probe. What is it you want from me?
I want to be able to get out the obsession, the addiction that takes over my life, my constant.
Are you
every
here
moment.
because you want me to help you get him back, or you're here because you want me to help you not want him back?
A little of both.
Well, look, you're not going to talk riddles with me.
Yeah.
Because listen, I don't play games the way you play games. You're going to answer me straight and honestly, or we will end this right now. I will put you right back on the plane and you will go right back home. Because I'm not an enabler like a lot of people in your life. So let's start this over. Okay? I'm Dr. Phil.
I'm Victoria.
All right. Tell me why you're here.
I'm here to get help
With
an obsession over my ex-boyfriend.
Okay, are you wanting to get over the obsession, or are you wanting me to help you get him back?
I'm wanting to get over the obsession.
Okay, so you recognize it's sick.
Correct.
You recognize that it's not healthy for you to do this.
Correct.
Well, how can that be when you say you can't even imagine living without him? How could you want to get rid of... See, when you say, I think words are very powerful. And you can't live without oxygen, right?
Correct.
Like, if I had to be here to like push a button right here every 10 seconds or you had no air, if I started to wander off, you'd want me back here.
I would.
You'd want me right here. Now, you've just told me I cannot even imagine living without him. But yet you're saying you came here to get me, to get him out of your life when you're telling me in the same breath you can't imagine living without him?
Yes.
You want me to get rid of this button?
Yes.
How could that be?
It,
How do you square that up?
it dictates my life. I can't do normal things like normal people. I can't go out in public. I have to have my phone with me 24/7.
You have your phone with you right now?
I do not.
Does
But
that make you nervous?
it's making me really nervous, actually. I'm getting the shakes. I feel urges right now. I want to look at it.
You created 45 fake profiles
Yes.
to try to connect with him because he's blocked you, right?
Yeah, he's blocked 40 to 60 numbers, I believe.
And you keep coming up with different numbers. What is it about this guy?
Everything. He just makes me so happy. He's made me
But you
feel a
beat the
different
crap
feeling.
out of him. When you're with him, you pound on him, you beat him, you tell him to get out of your life, get away from you.
I feel I turned into that way because he made me lack a lot of trust in him.
So you're demanding
Yeah.
and clingy.
Yeah.
Do you pound on his doors and windows?
Yes,
To get in, do you throw rocks at his windows?
I do.
Yeah. You're like a bad rash. I mean, it seems to me for him, you won't go away, right?
Yeah.
He can't get rid of you.
No.
Does he want to get rid of you?
Yes.
But he's kind of giving you mixed signals, right?
Yes. He will still see me on occasion and have sex with me and tell me that he still loves me and he wants to work it out.
Yeah. So you're texting him hundreds of times a day, you're calling him 100 times a day, and you don't have your phone on you right now, and that's bugging you.
It's bugging the crap out of
Because
me.
what do you think?
What's going on? What is he doing? Where is he at?
Where is he?
I don't know. It's making me nervous. It's making me edgy.
All right. Let's take a break. Next, we're going to come back and talk about the lie Victoria told Nathan to try to get him back. Now, she's going to tell us what it is, and later, we're going to hear what Nathan has to say about Victoria's obsession with him. Be right back.
Every time we would have sex after the breakup, I was trying my hardest to get pregnant. About a week ago, I lied and told Nathan I was pregnant.
And later, have y'all had any intimate interactions since your breakup?
Yes. I love Victoria very, very, very much.
After the breakup, Nathan and I would see each other about 2 to 3 times a week just for sex. The last time I saw Nathan was the beginning of February. About a week ago, I lied and told Nathan I was pregnant. Every time we would have sex after the breakup, I was trying my hardest to get pregnant. I stopped taking birth control. I wish I was pregnant with Nathan's child right now.
Well, that's Victoria. Now, she dated Nathan for 18 months. Nathan broke up with her 2 months ago, but Victoria says that she just can't get Nathan out of her mind. She says she obsesses on ways to get him back. And Victoria says this isn't the first time that someone in her life has really abandoned her. Take a look.
My childhood was difficult. When I was about 3, my mom left the picture completely, and my dad thought it would be best for me if I was raised by my aunt and uncle. And so both parents really weren't in the picture. I was 17 when I found my mother. We saw each other every 2 to 3 months, and then we would talk over the phone about twice a week through texting and calling. Right after I broke up with Nathan, the first person I called was my mom. I ran to her for comfort. At first, she supported me, but because I was completely devastated and I wasn't going anywhere in my life, they ended up throwing me out. It made me feel like I was worthless and nobody even loved me, not even my mom. That day she said that, I started stalking Nathan even more to try to feel some type of love from somebody.
Okay, do you think that's had an impact on you?
Oh, yeah.
How so?
Just growing up without a birth mom can definitely lack a lot for a woman.
What if, and I'm not saying this is true, I'm just asking questions at this point. What if what you're experiencing has absolutely nothing to do with Nathan? Would that be shocking to you?
Just a little bit.
Would you consider that a possibility?
Yeah, definitely.
And you see, I don't know if you know how this show works. Do you ever watch the Dr. Phil show?
Oh, yeah.
Yes?
Yes.
Between texting?
Yes.
You should not text and drive, and you should not text and watch, because you might miss something. But we take this very seriously here. And I have an advisory board, and the advisory board here is made up of the top minds in psychology, psychiatry, sociology, medicine, and they're from the top learning centers around the country. And when we start working on a story, we send all the facts of the story out to this very learned panel, and different ones give me ideas about different stories. They'll say, wow, here's my analysis of this, and different ones have different expertise, and they'll say, you need to consider this, Dr. Phil, and here's an article that isn't even published yet in the Journal of the American Medical Association, or here's this, or here's that. And I've gotten lots of feedback about your story, and we've kind of come to a consensus about this. And the general consensus is this really doesn't have much to do with Nathan, interestingly enough. It has a lot to do about you. I've written a book recently called Life Code, and I'm going to give you a copy of it.
Okay.
Because it basically says that if you're going to be successful in this life, you need to have a plan, and you don't have one. Right now, you're just kind of reacting to some emotions that you don't really even understand. And Life Code says you need to have a strategy, you need to have a plan for winning. And in fact, it's the new rules for winning in the real world. my son actually published this book, and the world changed a lot from when I was born to when he was born, and you're even younger than he is, so it's changed a lot even for you. And I want you to have a strategy. I'm going to give you a copy of that book today. I'm going to mark passages I want you to read.
Thank you.
I'm going to underline them for you. And then I'm going to give it to you in audio books. You can put it in your car and you can listen to it. You can put your headphones on at night and go to sleep listening to it. I'm going to stalk you with my book. 'Cause I want you to have a strategy. Because I do think your mother not being involved in your life has created a real attachment issue for you.
Yeah,
You have autistic brothers,
I do.
and that is a spectrum disorder. It moves all up and down the spectrum. And there's a genetic component to it. There could be a genetic issue with you, and one of the issues we know with autism is there's something called mirror cells. And one of those things is there are mirror cells at a brain level which allow us to mirror social behavior in others. And if those are impaired even a little bit, we have a hard time knowing what's socially appropriate.
Yeah.
And if you mix that with attachment problems from a young age developmentally, that can cause somebody to go way off the chart
Yeah.
in terms of knowing what's appropriate attachment-wise.
Right.
And then I see this really bizarre attachment behavior to a boyfriend, and I don't know that that's what's going on with you. I really don't, because I haven't evaluated you. But a lot of folks that have been evaluating this have put this on a hypothesis list as something to consider. So, I mean, this could be that you're not at all like some crazy psycho fatal attraction lover, but just that you have some things that need to be attended to, that you're not some crazy psycho girl at all, just that you've got some things that are challenges that if we address them, that you might be able to get under control if we just knew what was going on. You said, I would like to share my story on television, hoping possibly that someone out there can help me with my ex-boyfriend addiction. What, am I, chopped liver? Here's what I want to talk to you about. Okay, this is the letter that you wrote. This is your letter that you wrote to me.
Yeah.
I think words are very powerful. The things that you say to yourself, and you're programming yourself for this in a big way. You say, I've been going through a downward spiral here. That's very graphic, but you know that's an image, boy. You're just in a downward spiral here. And you say that you are just devastated. Those are powerful words for you to say to yourself. You know, you say, this has been going on for 2 months. He plays mind games with you. You're playing mind games with him. You say you're not eating, sleeping, that you can't face the public, but you're here.
Yeah.
You must really want to get healthy again.
I do. Need the help. Really bad.
That's why you're here, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, then you go on in your letter and you say, things have gotten more serious. He doesn't talk to me anymore. I've become a little crazy. And is this what you would say when you're talking about 1,000 texts and 100 phone calls and standing in the cold for 3 hours?
Yeah.
I mean, even you know, even when you're doing it, you got to be out there thinking, this is crazy.
Exactly.
Right?
I do it all the time.
I mean, you can observe yourself and say, this is crazy. In your behavior, you say, I harass and stalk him. You label the behavior yourself. You say, I'm still not eating, I'm still not sleeping, I've lost 18 pounds. I cry on average 4 to 9 times a day. I'm still harassing him. And you say, I've gone completely insane about it. Now, that's not true.
I feel like it.
No, you don't. See, words are very powerful. Have you gone completely insane?
Not necessarily, no.
No, I mean, seriously, have you gone completely insane? Completely insane people go outside, suck on a rock, and bark at the moon.
No.
You're not completely insane. You're here, you're very articulate, you're very goal-oriented, you're conducting yourself in a very appropriate way, and you're not even so focused on where your phone is right now. You're focused on me right now, aren't
Yeah.
you? And then you really pissed me off. You said, I would like to share my story on television for the world to see, hoping possibly that someone out there who views it can help me with my ex-boyfriend addiction. What, am I chopped liver? You're just coming here to hope somebody out there, somebody, could help you with this?
Yeah, I just needed some help.
Maybe I know somebody. Maybe somebody will see the show. Can help you with this. You're very young. He's very young. The chance that he's the guy for you is almost zero. I mean, you know that intellectually, right? And you're not ready to make a decision or a commitment at this point. You have some things you need to work out.
Yeah.
And my whole point about this is, you know, I've said that there is a strategy that you have to have. And I talk about this a lot in Life Code. People that win, people that are successful, success leaves clues. And I've studied those clues. And people that are successful, one of the things that is so very important is they have a defined image. They have a very clear picture of who they are. And even at your young age, you can be clear about that. You know, when you hear Dr. Phil, you're very clear who Dr. Phil is. You may love me, you may hate me, but you're very clear about who I am.
Yeah.
I'm not the guy that's going to pat your hand and tell you it's going to be okay. I'm going to tell you the truth as I see it. I'm going to put verbs in my sentences, and you're not going to have to guess where I stand when I'm through talking to you. Love me or hate me, that's who I am, and I've never varied from that. These people that are successful, they know their real currency. They know what is important to them truly. You do not know that right now. You think it's a kid named Nathan. And I'm not saying anything wrong with him, but that's not your real currency. Your real currency is to feel whole, to feel good about who you are. Winners always have a plan. They always have a plan. If your plan is 1,000 text messages and standing in the cold, you need a new plan. You need a new plan.
Yeah.
And you may not know how to do it, but you know, sometimes you're not clear, but winners behave their way to success. They figure out what I need to do, and they start behaving their way towards success. And most importantly, they deal only with the truth. They deal only with the truth. They don't tell themselves fiction.
Yeah.
They deal only with the truth. And you know, this doesn't feel real to you.
No.
Come on. And when you get close to him, it doesn't feel real.
It doesn't. Oh.
It doesn't feel real. You've got to have a strategy and a plan. And I want to help you put that together. And if, in fact, these issues from earlier have left you kind of attachment damage, let's heal that, okay? I mean, let's heal that.
Okay.
I tell you how much I trust you. Nathan is here. Okay? Okay, Nathan is here. And we're going to talk to him next. Okay. And when I say how much I trust you, I trust you enough that you understand me, that you're not going to go off the radar here because he's here.
Okay.
right?
Right.
You and me?
You and me.
We're going to talk to Nathan.
Okay.
Be right back.
My love for Nathan is unconditional. He's the man of my dreams. I cannot see my life without him. Majority of my day is plotting ideas to get Nathan back. In 2 weeks, I'm going to say that I found somebody else. And then I plan to say I saw his girlfriend with her ex-boyfriend or with a new guy. I'm going to make another pregnancy up. Just whatever I can do just to have him come around.
Well, that was Victoria, and she says that she's trying to get over her ex-boyfriend, Nathan, and she said it has been a real struggle. She says she thinks about him 24/7, but we've been talking about the fact that it's not really about him. She says she sends him up to 1,000 text messages a day. I'm hoping that we're going to change all of that. Nathan says, look, I just want this to stop. I want to move on. Take a look.
And Victoria just texted me again. Today, all within the space of an hour, Victoria has called me 5 times, left 3 voicemails, and 30 text messages. Victoria is obsessed with getting me back. The most recent text messages from Victoria today from 2:37 p.m. was, call me, I miss you. Please talk to me, why are you doing this? After all we had, say something, Nathan. I love you, Nathan. Work on things with me. I'm sorry. Please answer my text. Sorry. Hi, are you gonna answer? I love you, I miss you. Please answer, I love you. Victoria constantly says that she'll leave me alone if I meet with her. I do not meet with her because I know that she's not gonna leave me alone. I broke up with Victoria roughly 2 months ago, and I saw her probably twice just to get my things back or give her her things back. I have a new girlfriend now. She's fantastic, and when Victoria calls me or texts me, it does not make my new girlfriend happy at all. My new girlfriend is starting to get mad with me that I'm not taking action. I'm afraid Victoria isn't gonna stop. My hopes for Victoria are to just further her education, get a career, just leave me alone and move on, try to find a new something.
Well, that was Nathan talking about his point of view here. He's with us today. So Nathan, come on out and join the conversation if you would, please. How you doing, man? Good to see you. Good to see you. All right, have a seat. Well, you two obviously know each other.
Yes.
Hello.
We do.
How long since you've actually seen each other?
2-3 weeks.
2-3 weeks?
I say more like a month and a week.
Yeah. How do you feel about seeing him now?
Nervous.
Yeah. Why?
A lot of mixed emotions are going through my mind.
Yeah. How so?
I don't really know if I truly do miss him anymore, looking at him.
Yeah. Is that a vacillation from love, hate? I mean,
I think it's a love-hate. Yeah.
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 Well, it's a thin line between the two. What's your take on this whole thing, this whole relationship?
In the beginning, it was very, very love in the air. Everything was fine and dandy. I think between my past, me having to be somewhere every single day, took away the attention from the relationship a little bit just because I had concentrated on myself to make sure that I'm taken care of and make sure that, you know, I can provide for people that are my family and for my girlfriend at the time, which was Victoria. Mm-hmm. So when it comes
you were working?
Working, I was on probation, so I had to get taken to like drops and stuff like that.
You were on probation?
Yes.
And you guys actually broke up your relationship when?
I broke up with her right before Christmas, like a week maybe before Christmas.
Mm-hmm. But have you seen her intermittently during that time?
Throughout January, I saw her roughly like 2 to 4 times. And that was simply just to get my things back. She would call me and say that she had something of mine, or she would call me and say I have something of hers. And we would meet up and exchange things and sit and talk for like 5, 10, 15 minutes. And if the conversation was going good, I did love Victoria very much. I would have loved to stay friends with her. It's just after, you know, everything that happened after the breakup, the stalking, the nonstop calling.
Have y'all had any intimate interactions since your breakup?
Yes.
When was this last?
Last week of January.
Well, that's kind of odd, given what you're describing, that she's been stalking you and bugging you. And
When I first broke up with her, the reason was because I just got sick and tired of her bashing on like my family members. She called them ignorant and just bashed on me a while.
But why would you do that at the end of January?
Because I still had feelings for her at that time. I mean, I loved Victoria very, very, very much. And when it comes to when I would see her, those feelings would come back to me, whether it was just to get my things back or not. Those feelings would come back, and we would talk and stuff, and, you know, yeah.
But at this point, you're moving on.
Yes.
Are you afraid that you can't be happy without him?
Yeah.
Are you going to call him again? You know, everybody has a different learning history, and you know, we've been talking a little bit about her learning history and her family history, and I can tell you that any mixed messages that you might send to her, I would consider to be highly exploitive, highly manipulative, and highly unkind. That would not be in her best interest at all. Mm-hmm. So any on again, off again mixed messages would be highly unkind and not at all in her best interest. Yeah. So I think if you care about her as a human being, if you care what happens to her going forward, you would not do that in any way whatsoever. You would not have assignations with her. You would not go 6 weeks not talking to her, returning her calls, whatever, and then be intimate with her or whatever, because that would be very confusing to her. It would be very upsetting to her. That would be highly exploitive of her at a very vulnerable time in her life. So I would really encourage you to not do that. I'm not saying that you've been that way at all. I'm just telling you that would not be good for you to do.
Well, in the past, like those 4 times that we did see each other was basically Victoria telling me that, you know, hey, like I want this, I want that, we can just be friends. Yeah. With benefits and this, whatever you want, and I didn't want that at all.
Yeah, well, I'm telling you different. So you just know at least my opinion of this is that would be what I said. That would be highly manipulative and exploitive. Absolutely. For you to do. That would not be in her best interest at all. Would you agree with that?
Yeah.
Yeah. What did you want to say?
You pretty much kind of nailed it. I would have said I don't like the fact that he does do that. He does come in and out, and he'll say that he still cares about me, he still loves me. And
I haven't done that in a week and a half.
And then...
Or, I mean, a month and a half.
It goes away.
Not a week and a half.
It's hard.
Yeah. Well, but regardless of what he says or doesn't say, does or doesn't do, as I said, this is about you.
Exactly.
You know, it's not about him. And you know, the goal here for you is not to be angry with him, not to be bitter. The goal for you is to be indifferent about it. The goal for you is to focus on yourself, because what you want is to be healthy and happy and move on.
Yeah.
Because it really isn't about him. It's really about you. There's not anything that he can say or do that's going to make you happy. If he said, you know, I want to be with you every day for the rest of my life, you know, that didn't make you happy, because it didn't make you happy at the time. It was pretty combative, and it wasn't satisfying to you. When he's not there, it's not satisfying to you because it's not about him.
Yeah.
When he's there, it doesn't make you happy. When he's not, it doesn't make you happy because it isn't about him. That's the good news. The good news is the only person you need to control to get happy, healthy, and whole is you, right?
Right.
So it's not really about him, and you don't need to be mad at him. You don't need to be happy with him. You just need to be, listen. good, bad, or indifferent, you just need to wish him well and, you know, adios. I mean, right?
Right.
Is there anything you want to say to him?
Just wish you a happy life.
Thank you.
Are you
And
going to call him again? Or are you going to,
I'm gonna work on that.
huh?
So I'm gonna work on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you afraid that you can't be happy without him?
Yeah, definitely. I'm just afraid I'm gonna regret a lot of things in the future. I'm gonna look back and regret the things that I've done. Maybe things wouldn't have been this way.
Yeah. You move on.
Yeah.
You're going to meet somebody in your life. You're probably going to be married. You're probably going to have a passel of kids. Your life's going to go on. You're going to look back and say, yeah, I remember him, sort of. I mean, and the same thing is true. You guys are going to go on and be my age someday and remember each other, and that's it. All right. Nathan, thank you. I'll excuse you.
Thank you.
You can head out. Thanks. Do you really honestly think this is the answer to your problems? Do you really think this relationship is going to fix your life? Now, any questions for me?
I guess my biggest fear is, will this stop eventually?
Well, what stop?
The calling and the harassing and everything, will that go away after this?
It will stop when you decide that you want it to stop. It will stop when you decide that I want to look at and focus on me. Look, this is not going to happen,
Yeah.
right? And do you really honestly think this is the answer to your question, to your problems? Do you really think this relationship is going to fix your life?
No.
Seriously?
No, I don't think it will. Part of me believes that it could help a little bit, but I don't think it's going to fix me as a person.
What's that?
I said part of me believes it will help me, but I don't think it's going to fix me completely to have a happy life down the road.
I mean, he's a kid. He's like he's working at a bridal shop. He's on probation for drugs. I mean, this kid's not going to fix your life. You can fix your life. And that's what you need to focus on. Believe in yourself. Focus on yourself. And you do have people in your life that care about you. You know, your mother's not in your life right now. And if you look around, there are people in your life that care about you. Your father does care about you. He hasn't always been there, but he's there now.
Yeah.
Your stepmother is in your life. Margot's right here. And she's here for a reason. She cares very much about you. She wants you to know that. Margot, what do you want to say?
I've watched a lot of this. I think Victoria is stuck at being 2 years old.
She's right here. Talk to her. You don't need to talk to me.
I think you've been stuck at being like 2 years old, doing 2-year-old things. And I want to help you grow into the beautiful woman that you are and that you can become.
Do you believe that you need to roll your sleeves up and figure out how to get past this yourself?
Yeah.
And will you stop doing that when you decide that that's not your answer?
Yeah.
And when you realize he doesn't have what you need, you'll quit looking to him to fix it. You have what you need, and we'll support you in every way we possibly can.
Thank you.
All right. Now, are you glad you came here?
I'm so glad I came here.
Why?
Because I know I'm not the only person out there going through this.
Did you get anything here that you need today?
Yeah, I've got that. The relationship isn't really the only reason why I'm acting like this. It's myself, and I need to find myself.
But there are specific places to look, and we're going to help you with that, okay?
Okay.
All right. When we come back, the most important thing to remember to get over a breakup. I'm going to tell you when we come back. Look, after a bad breakup, it is normal to experience feelings of sadness, loss, and anger. But if you feel yourself falling into despair or you can't function, it may be time to speak out and ask for help. Now's the time to reach out to your friends and family. And look, don't be afraid to depend on others when you need it. Sometimes it's really just kind of a grieving process, but recognize that it does pass. Now, I'm very proud to say that Life Code, the new rules for winning in the real world, is a New York Times #1 bestseller, and it's the #1 book in the country on all the lists. And I'm proud to say it's being published by my son Jay's publishing company, Bird Street Books. It's available in stores, and everybody in the audience is going home with a copy today. I want to thank all of my guests today as well. For more information about today's show, log on to drphil.com. Thanks for being here. So long. Thanks, guys. Thanks so much.